Thank you for staying with us. The book, Unlike the Rest, by Chika Oriuwa, is a memoir that delves into her personal journey of becoming a doctor. The author recounts her childhood dream of wearing a white coat and the unwavering determination that carried her through the challenges she faced. However, her dream was put to the test when she discovered she was the only black student in her medical school class, forcing her to confront the harsh reality of systemic discrimination and racism in the medical field. Despite these struggles, she finds solace in her passion for medicine and her desire to advocate for change. Unlike the Rest is a story of self-discovery, growth, and the unyielding pursuit of one's dreams, offering a unique perspective on the medical field and the challenges faced by underrepresented groups. Joining us via Zoom from Canada is medical doctor and author of Unlike the Rest, Dr. Chika Oriuwa. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. I am incredibly honored to be here.
Right. Now, let's begin with your motivation for writing your book, Unlike the Rest, at such a young age. How old were you?
So I was actually approached by HarperCollins to write a memoir about my journey through medical school and what my experiences had been like. And I was in my third year of medical school when I was approached, and I think I was about 26, 27 when I started to have that idea in my mind of writing my journey. And I was just about 30 when I finished writing the book. And so, you know, to have had the opportunity to write a memoir at such a young age was something that, you know, is still quite surreal to me, because most individuals will write a memoir when they have a bit more, experience in terms of chronological age. And so to have had the opportunity to detail my journey thus far in just 30 years is something that I'm incredibly proud of, but I think is also a testament to the fact that these 30 years for me have been quite chock full of incredible opportunities, but also incredible life lessons that I felt would be pertinent to share. And so being able to talk about my experiences of being a young Black Nigerian Canadian woman navigating the medical system and doing so at certain points as the only Black individual in a space has given me a lot of incredible insight into what it means to confront adversity and really rise to the occasion of being able to challenge and change a system.
Well, I'm sure so many persons, not just medical students, will be interested in your story. Also, you know, looking at the fact that you mentioned that you faced systemic discrimination. So talk to us about the audience of your book. Who exactly are you sending this message to?
So what I think is beautiful about my story is that although it is very much based in my narrative of being a young Black woman navigating the medical system as a physician in training, it is a story that has broad appeal. So truly anyone who is looking to feel inspired by a story of belonging and becoming and being seen in a space can find solace and peace in this story. And so truly the audience can range from anyone as young as high school who is still in that process of self-discovery and trying to understand where they fit in the world, to anyone as as old as one can be who is still on that process of evolution. And so I definitely feel that, of course, if you are in the medical field, you will see a lot of yourself reflected in this. If you are also, Black Nigerian, if you're Igbo especially, you will see yourself reflected in this. If you are a young woman, you'll see yourself reflected in the story. But it's beautiful because it really does apply to anyone who is just looking for that place of belonging and inclusivity. And truly that can be anybody in any field who is on that journey as well. So I think that the audience is far-reaching. It certainly does not only apply to the Canadian context. That's why I'm so honored and excited to be able to speak to a local, Nigerian network, so that I can also appeal to audiences that is ancestral to me. And so I really do appreciate that opportunity as well.
Interesting. So it will be good for us to know the message that whoever is reading the book, you want them to get from your book, the message you want them to get from your book. And also, we need to perhaps go back to the beginning, what it is like being the daughter of an immigrant, and also how this has shaped your journey, your outlook, culture, everything about you.
So what's very interesting is that my parents, they met here in Canada, but they're both Nigerian, they're both Igbo, they're from Imo states. And being born and raised in the Canadian culture, but knowing that my ancestral home is, on another continent back in Nigeria, and then always at times feeling stateless or out of place, because in certain contexts you're not Canadian enough to be seen as authentically Canadian, and that was something that has consistently been a narrative and a recurring motif in my life, is that, always being asked, are you from here, or were you born here, are you Canadian? And then always holding true that, yes, I am Nigerian Canadian, but then also at times not feeling Nigerian enough because I wasn't born and raised in Nigeria. And so always kind of feeling like I was looking for that place to belong was a narrative that started long before I even started medical school. However, what I find incredibly important is that my parents ensured that I never, ever forgot that myself and my siblings, there's 4 of us, that we never, ever forgot that we are children of Nigeria, that we are Igbo children, Biafran children. And so I remember vividly sitting around our kitchen table as children and my father recounting all of the stories of what it was like for him to grow up in Nigeria, especially during the Biafran War, and my parents truly inculcating within us a deep sense of pride of being Nigerian. And what is beautiful is that there is a very vibrant Nigerian and Igbo community within Toronto, within Brampton, which is where I was raised in Canada, and being deeply enmeshed and baked into that culture, it almost feels as though, we are really intensely connected and tied to our Nigerian identity. And so the ways in which the culture was infused throughout my life has been incredibly important for me. And so that really colored the way in which I engaged and interacted with all things throughout my academic and educational journey, and being a part of different associations throughout school so that I remain connected to my African identity. And of course, when I finally arrived to medical school, I'll never forget on my very first day of medical school, which is where historically medical schools will have the white coat ceremony to introduce you into the medical profession. But at the University of Toronto, where I did medical school, we had a stethoscope ceremony. And I was very, very intentional of wearing traditional Nigerian clothing. I'm
sure
so that was really important for me.
I'm sure your journey was quite a long one, and we could go on and on. But a very interesting part of your book is on the reflections on mental health and, family expectations. Perhaps you could quickly walk us through how this has, shaping your advocacy and also, career trainings.
Absolutely. So, the experiences of encountering different challenges with perspective to my mental wellness really started with my perfectionistic tendencies that I've had my entire life. And so always pushing myself to be the best in everything that I did, which of course led me to where I am today in my life. And I'm incredibly thankful for that. But at the same time has been challenging in that, I would push myself to the point often of exhaustion. And that really presented itself quite a lot throughout my undergraduate studies and into medical school. And I talk about this in my book, Unlike the Rest, A Doctor's Story, where I talk about how it's important to prioritize your mental health and your mental wellness, because at certain points in my story, I certainly did not do that. And I prioritized above all my tendency for wanting to be excellent and nothing but excellent, even at the cost of my physical and my mental health. And so really the reflections that I've had and what also inspired my choice to pursue psychiatry, one of the things that inspired my choice to pursue psychiatry was recognizing the importance of mental health and mental wellness on this journey.
Unfortunately, that's the most we can take on this conversation this morning, but so much has been said, and we can only wish you all the best. in all your endeavors as it is. And so we must thank you, medical doctor and author, Dr. Chika Oriuwa, for your time on the program. And we hope that you come to Nigeria sometime soon.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
All right.